Uganda empya. Nga tugenda maaso nti railway abasinga ddala bazadde baffe batusingako obukulu bazadde bamwe batambuliranga mu gaali y'omukka naye kati nze emyaka gyange okulaba ku gaali y'omukka nyina agenda bweru wa Uganda tekigenda kubeera mu gavumenti ya Kyagulanyi ebyo byonna tugenda bikyusa mufune gaali y'omukka ng'osobola okubeera wano e Kampala yobeerayo omupiira mu Hoima City ng'olinnya high speed training ekutwala ddakiika 3 watuuse dda walabye omupiira wakomyewo ye Uganda empya tetubasuubiza ekirala era ebiddiridde okusemba amasanyalaze n'amazzi amasanyalaze ga bbeeyi uniti y'amasanyalaze ya siringi 10 ngenda mu saluuni okunsiba enviiri okunnaaza bunaaza omuviiri omukyala wa saluuni nangamba maama amasanyalaze ga bbeeyi nange nyina okujjako sente nnyingi naye nga lwaki mbeera nsiba enviiri za sente nnyingi nga lwaki gavumenti ya Kyagulanyi tejja uniti y'amasanyalaze ku siringi 10 n'ebiteeka ku siringi 5 ekidomola ky'amazzi tugenda kukijja ku nnusu 120 tukiteeke ku nnusu 10 bannayuganda mugenda kunyumira Uganda empya ate nga no connecting amazzi n'amasanyalaze bigenda kubeera bya bwerere gavumenti eno egenda bikolako ekisinga obukulu airport mukimanyi loopu waffe ng'akyakulira Kosase yavaayo n'abalaga nti mwezo waliyo abakyala bataasoma bye baweeja emirimu abataasoma bonna tugenda bagobayo kale baasoma omugigi naye biri ebitabo bye twogerako bonna bataasoma tugenda bagobayo tuteekeyo abantu abasobola okumanaginga air transport yaffe so that buli region wabeerayo airport nga munnayuganda asobola okubuuka n'avaano nga bwekiri e Kenya ababaddeko e Kenya mukimanyi abantu bavuga okuva e Mombasa ne bagenda e Nairobi at low cost bye twagala mu Uganda empya bannayuganda nga mmaliriza mukimanyi tubyogeddeko sente za health zigenda kwongezebwa tugenda kwongeza sente funding mu government hospitals ate n'abaana baffe bajja kulyanga emmere y'obwerere buli lunaku neyanziza nnyo people power our power.
Thank you so much, Dr. Judy. In conclusion, here's what the new Uganda promises. With the National Unity Platform, we are saying that our health centers are going to be increased. We are going to increase funding in the healthcare system to about 25% or even more, considering what was promised in the Abuja Declaration that said if the health system must improve, at least 16% of the national budget must be dedicated to the health system. We are going to recruit doctors 16 times more than what we have at present. And we are saying that every health center 3 must have a doctor. And we are going to triple other healthcare workers in the new Uganda. In the new Uganda, the funding for the education sector is going to be increased. We are saying, why should our teachers be struggling? Yet we have a lot of money. We have over 10 trillion that is stolen to corruption every year, but our teachers do not have enough salary. We are saying that connection to the national grid for electricity is going to be free of charge. Ladies and gentlemen, you do not have to buy electricity poles anymore. You do not have to pay for the wires to have electricity in your homes. We are going to remove value-added tax on electricity bills. We are going to make sure that businesses and domestic users of electricity, where SMEs fall, do not have to pay VAT. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to make sure that every village has 10 water sources, clean water sources, and all town councils and municipal councils must construct toilets that will be accessed for free, ladies and gentlemen. I feel so bad when I go to Kampala and I have to look for a toilet and I pay, yet it is even dirty. But they are going to be free of charge in the new Uganda. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to have a railway that connects all the 4 regions in Uganda. Why should it take you 8 hours, 12 hours to come from here to Yumbe, yet you can use a train and get there in 4 hours? Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to make sure that we have regional, international airports. These Entebbe airports that you see, we are going to put down and we lift very new, good-looking international airports. And there is no reason why you will have to come from Ntungamo to Entebbe to board a plane to Rwanda. Do you understand? That is what we are saying. We are saying that in in the new Uganda, you will not have to struggle for anything. We shall make sure that whatever it is that you need as a public service is availed to you. People power. Our power. Kunga Uganda kunga. Thank you so much.
From what you've heard, do you want more of the same or you want change? You already have a clear picture of what is going to be in the new Uganda. And we are not just saying we are going to do these things, we have people who are going to do these things. I'm sure you're confident that these young ladies and doctors are capable of delivering what they have just promised. That said, before we welcome our alumni to perform the skit, we shall first have a surprise artist, Felix the superstar. He's going to sing, perform for us. Thank you so much. DJ.
You know what you quit about my baby do on a step of Wakalulu mama. Yayaka Rabandu way. I get up of Wakalulu mama way. You know what you quit out? Oh, get down with it. Yani, 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 single Budulu, Yani to Mwendulu, Yani put them to do. We're gonna go for the gun. We're gonna what? Mama, Avana Nayamba, Abatana Nayamba, who did a Buno? I want the wrong one, who was every good old young girl, don't know, where to what you came is the wood, Yabasinga mwenyambye ngambe yake kuko wafe atukuno kutide nyage ono kulira kubanga luluke bamulya ngange ono moteka kezange kubanga kaluluke bamulya tebanimba tebangeka nebuleta sente zatula tebanimba nze tebavumba tekikumaze basegomba enda abalala segomba Nastana Beba Jensi, Lida Twegomba, Wouldn't Bobi, Mama Bobi, Mama Soda, Bobi, Yani to Mwedu, Yani could take you, Yani when Customer service is more than paid, everybody get a ball. Senyo kubera wane no badde ninashema sakana biso agenda ngasirabye mukulembeze wage kanaye mukulembeze wage kwagala nnyo era nsaba luno lutabalo lwozemo luwangule bulungi kwagala nnyo taata eyaziza nnyo badde omukulembeze yansuubiza haga mutirabye haga teyaŋŋamba agirese eyaziza nnyo Mr. President.
Webale nnyo Uganda empya era nja kweyagala nnyo. Thank you so much for that. We are going to have one more presentation and then we'll have the skit. At this point, many of you have been asking, because in our manifesto we have told you we are going to create 10 million jobs, and many of you have been saying, how is that possible? I think most of you have gotten used to governments which don't create jobs. I'm going to welcome Honorable Mwanga Chivumbi to present on the issue of unemployment and how we are going to create jobs for you. Thank you so much.
People power, our power, NUP, everywhere. President Kantwaleyo mukisa ogw'enjawulo. kukulisayo mu Greater Mubende ne Greater Luweero. Bane mumukuliseyo kyabadde kyakabi yakikoze. One, let me start with a simple philosophy in managing an economy. It is akin to going to war. Because quite often, after all this struggle we are in to remove a dictator, and our president, after swearing in, he will be just occupying momentarily a certain hill stop. But it will also define how far the climb has been and how steep the next journey to end unemployment, to create a better life, to give our people better opportunities. It will just be a beginning of a major struggle. Now, like any other war, developing an economy entails taking over what we call commanding heights. Commanding heights of an economy starts with, I'll only mention two that are very relevant. A commanding height of an economy, the first one is an emergency of an enlightened elite class in a country. I'm using the word enlightened, not people who have gone to school. An enlightened elite class is aware they must live simple so that their people must simply live. They do every sacrifice. They have a command of duty, responsibility, commitment, sacrifice, patriotism, and courage to ensure they deliver a nation. The second commanding height is an emergency, a skilled, which they've talked about, of a skilled, healthy, working human resource, for which people have talked about health and education. Another commanding height is peace. When I talk about peace, I'm speaking about durable, predictable, peace that we take for granted, not an absence of war and gunshots. Once you have that peace and stability, then you have occupied another commanding height. But in the role of that peace is the role of the military, for which most militaries in Africa fail African presidents. The military complex, other than waging war, is the gatherer of strategic information and direction of a country. They have a duty to unflinchingly speak to a president, no matter how difficult, to tell the president that what you are doing is not right, change direction, take a new course because of the future of our country. Now, our military think all they do is to consolidate and the presidency. Another commanding height, of course, is finance and banking, which I'll leave. But my role was to demonstrate to you that you can create 10 million new jobs. I think that is an understatement. In Tanzania here, they have demonstrated, starting with Magufuli, that in 5 years you can transform a country. The young man, the general, in the friend of the president, who Traore, has demonstrated that in 3 years just you can transform a country. We are sure with the National Unity Platform, with the discipline of the National Unity Platform, it will take us 2 to 3 years to put Uganda right and begin a new course, not just to give you peace and stability, to give this country a heritage of an ever-improving destiny. I'm speaking about the heritage. Countries change forever. Good leaders don't change countries momentarily during their regime. They give them a basis of an ever better life for their citizens. And it is possible, starting with Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu and the National Unity Platform. Will it be reinventing the wheel? No. Nations start from somewhere. America was given an opportunity by one man called George Washington. So was India. China was given an opportunity by Chairman Mao and others. Singapore by Lee Kuan Yew. And so many other countries. So I have no doubt, and I've worked with our president closely. I have no doubt he will deliver Uganda to a promised land. So be out there, and all you have to do is to go out 4 months from now, 2 months, and vote. Now, this is what we are going to do to create jobs. One, we are going to leverage tourism. Tourism has the potential to create new jobs in Uganda. And let me speak about tourism. Tourism today does not mean the presence of crocodile and lions. For you to have a tourist destination, you must improve all the things the Samims have talked about. Infrastructure, have peace, have better roads, have communication, have better hotels. Once you do that, tourists will simply come, even without branding. So you don't need to. There must be roads without tanks and tear gas. There must be respect for human rights. Every time you put Edimutwe in a basement, you are discouraging 1,000 and hundreds of thousands tourists. No one wants to come to a country where people are put in a basement. It can't. Every time you see jam on Kampala Road, you are discouraging tourists. So, today people go to Dubai. Are there dinosaurs in Dubai? Are there lions in Dubai? Are there valleys in Dubai? Are there rivers in Dubai? It's because they have done a first-class infrastructure. That's what our government will do. The second thing we shall do to leverage is to create an industrial sector that can create jobs. An industrial sector that can create jobs will be the one that has a backward and forward linkage. Backward linkage is an industrial base that will be built on our comparative advantage, which is agriculture. And when you build an industry on agriculture, two, we are now getting a new comparative advantage. We are one of the richest nations in mineral potential in the world. From oil to uranium to gold to tin to everything you need in Uganda we have. How very fast shall actually the thinking in the other sector of the economy is, if we had developed our industrial sector, our mineral sector faster, we would never have needed to borrow to develop the oil sector. Therefore, we are going to fast track a huge industrial complex based on our mineral resources, on our agricultural resources, on our fish industry, on everything we have, and create hundreds and millions of jobs for our people. We're also going to do where our president comes from. He has been speaking about the 4 A's. Okay? The arts, the academics, so we are going to do a sports and arts industry that will deliver Uganda. We can tell you today, a 1 billionaire that has joined the billionaire rank this week by Forbes magazine is not an industrialist. Is a one man called Cristiano Ronaldo. Is a footballer. How many Cristiano Ronaldos can we have in Uganda? You see a young man like Okello, Alan Okello. Had he been given opportunities years back, that one would be a billionaire in the making. We have artists that are doing so well. We've just seen a young girl. here performing, so perfect. In another world, this younger girl instantly will be a millionaire in terms of millions of what? Dollars. They'll not be performing in Irikali. No. And there you need a right law, corporate law. You need a law that protects artists. You need a law that ensures that they earn from their talent. And that law, Mr. President, in the next 200 days of our parliament, we will put that law in place. So once you do those best things, then other things simply fall in. So our promise for a new Uganda is a Uganda that will ensure you have a heritage of prosperity, not for now, not for our children, it will be for infinity and beyond. And with those few words, I thank you. I'm requested to translate what I've talked about in Uganda briefly. National platform egenda ku lutabaalo olwokubiri. Olutabaalo olwokubiri lwe lw'okukyusa obulamu bw'abannansi, okubaggya mu mbeera embi gye mukooye tugende mu mbeera ki ey'okwesiima. Tetubagamba tulwanirira mu nsi muno mubeere baavu. No, ekitulwanyisa bannayuganda mubeere baki bagagga nga muli mu bulamu obukola ki obwesiimisa nga temusula na swegi. Wano mu Uganda abantu basula n'ebinyonyi, wano mu Uganda abantu basula n'ente, abantu mu Uganda basula wamu n'embuzi nga temuli mu nnyumba za nsiisira. Ng'obudde bwe buziba tekitegeeza kizikiza, kitegeeza ekitangaala obukulembeze obulungi obulala bwe bukikuwadde. Ng'abantu abagala okuba obulungi muli buki bulungi, n'olwekyo olutalo lwe tuliko lwakuba buki bulungi, kubanga tukooye embeera ki embi. Ebyo okubifuna wano wammanga tulina obikola. One, wateekwa okuvaayo abakulembeze abaagala eggwanga lyabwe nga ddala mweyokya ggwanga. Ekyo kitegeeza si bakulembeze bannabyabufuzi bokka, nammwe mwenna bagayi. Oli kaawo, oli simanyi, oli community development officer, oli nansi, oli headmaster, working a permanent secretary in our government, a corrupt one. Pack your bags nga tetunnasimbula. Olumala okulabira oli anti oli mu jjini y'obuli corrupt, please just run away. Kyagulanyi atuuse, kiboko ya uchafu, kiboko ya uchi, kiboko ya uchi, kiboko ya uchi. No, tuleta kiboko ya uchi. Buli alimu tate kobere speaker ojagenda, kobere ame commander ojagenda, kobere nga gwe santista soka mweba permanent secretary simawaki abali mu office eyo musibe tayi tubaviira ku nguudo tubawe motoka empya tubasasulira insurance. Please, obuvunaanyizibwa bwammwe bugenda kuba kolera bbanga lyaffe n'abantu baffe. Ne political class will be required to do that. Political class ntegeeza buli omu okuva ku president, genda ku kansala, genda ku w'omuluka, genda ku gwe kaada foot soldier. Tokola ba foot soldier, genda mu gavumenti ng'osuubira tinaawe olifuna omukisa okuba wano dani okuba ebweyo. Nimbabuuza lwaki ne bagamba ti wano mukomera tuli assured ekyeggulu kya kawunga naye weekiri. N'olwekyo ekkomera we nabasanga, they were happy to be in prison because they will be assured of supper and dinner and shelter. That's not the Uganda we want. Kyomwana omuto ajja preferring okusigala mu kkomera than okubeera ebuki ebweru, kubanga eri mu kkomera afuna ekyeggulo oba ekyemisana. N'olwekyo tugenda kutumbula ebyobulambuzi nga tutandikira ddala okulaba nti buli kimu ekikola obulambuzi tukiteekamu ssente ezeetaagisa, tusobole okuleeta abalambuzi baleete ssente bazireke wano nga ebaba mu Uganda tebeeralikira tiyagasi, tebayalika kukwati batwalibwa mu kkomera, tebajja kulwa mu infrastructure. Actually Malaysia waliyo tourism police. Abalambuzi be bajja Malaysia okuva ku airport ng'oli mulambuzi mukifeeda of kadenge zino ezitwala balupembe ogenda okutubba bw'ojja ng'oli mulambuzi nga tukutikka nga tukuyisa mu traffic jam mangu nga tukutwala mu hoteli ennungi ng'osasula ng'abaana baffe bafuna emirimu. Instead wano emmotoka za poliisi zitambuza balupembe bagenda mu ofiisi kunyaga sente zaffe. No, those pickups will be picked from you to ziwe twice zibanguye okutuuka we tubagirako ki lupiiya. Ekyo kinaaba kibi. Tugenda kuzimba amakolero agannamaddala. Amakolero gaffe gagenda kukola kye bagamba kusinziira ku maanyi n'ebyobugagga Katonda byakola ki byatuwa. Uganda bannange buli kimu tukiina. Mawulire tetulina okubeera wano tewali yazze leero nga gavumenti oba ow'eggombolola yamuwadde emmere. Waali wano waliwo eyazze ng'omwezi guno yafunayo akawunga ka gavumenti nga yafunayo omuceere gwa gavumenti. N'ekyo ensi esobola okweriisa olubuto tekitwala myaka 3 4 kugitereeza. Sebo President, myaka 3 bwekiti mujja kubeera mu ggwanga eddala. Sirino lye mukoze eki emubaddemu nga n'ebyenfuna weebiki bitangaavu. Kokola ekyo tugenda kukwata ebyobugagga mu ttaka ku nnyanja. Tugenda kuzimba amakolero nga gasobola okuliikiriza oba galiikirizibwa obulimi n'okwongera ssente mu by'obulimi. Tugenda okutumbula ebitone by'abantu bonna mu Uganda asobola okudduka bwe ganya okugulunyweza, asobola okuba ebikonde naawe nyweza ebikonde, asobola okuyimba bambi teekamu amaanyi, asobola buli kyosobola okukola kiteekemu amaanyi. Anti Kyagulanyi ajja. Abantu mweka abateetaaga Kyagulanyi namweka mbabuulire mu ababbi abagayaavu abatuukaleeti ku mirimu ono gwe tuleese kibooko ya uchafu. Kibooko ya uchafu. National Unity Platform is a train for disciplining Ugandans and delivering for a better country. I thank you. God bless.
Deputy President, bw'awulidde ebigenda okubeera mu Uganda empya afunye akakisa okubeera wano. Ddayo otegeeze buli omu ky'owulidde wano leero. Era abantu mu Baganda bali those who had given up empapula bazikubeko enfuufu. Uganda empya empapula ezo zigenda kuba za mugaso. Kati buli omu azze wano ky'owulidde tegeezaako munno asobole okutegeera ekitulundiridde Uganda empya. Having said that, mujja kutuukiriza tuweeko omukisa alumni ba School of Leadership baje ba performing wano skit. The people power! Our power! People power! NUP! And everywhere! Ladies and gentlemen, basabone banyaba mukirize mbategeze nti yevera official campaigners aba flag bearers NUP oshagade bulungi kakati listen very carefully to the good news, ladies and gentlemen.
To the oppressed, to the mothers who put bed on hospital floors, to the parents whose children have been seated at home for close to a month. This is the good news. In less than 2 to 3 months, we are entering a new Uganda. People power!
Our power!
Our power!
People power!
NUP!
Everywhere! People power! Our power! Our power! People! Kunga! Musajja oyocha akabonero ki ku president ku MP tulondanga to awo oyocha. Your system was sham. No, how do you live such an this gentleman here uliriza oyocha. In fact oyocheza osiriziza. This guy here, we know him. He competed for the party card. He was not given that chance. And then you decided to run independently.
But I've been in the party for so long.
Yes.
the party. Yes. There is a president everywhere.
My friend, we had trust in you. We trusted you. You know that party ideology. You know everything. No, shame be upon you. Power.
NUP.
Everywhere. The flag bearer is here.
Hello, comrades.
Yes.
My name is Honorable Gorogoro. And I am the flag bearer of Kamvure East Constituency.
People. Good.
I am here to tell you about my manifesto.
Before even the manifesto. Gorogoro Jew. Honorable Gorogoro Jew.
My first thing that I'm going to do as Honorable Gorogoro is to make sure I supply sugar. I am going to make sure I supply salt. Everybody will have salt in their homes. What is he talking about? I am the rightful honorable, and I'm giving you sugar and salt.
Honorable.
Listen. The other one I'm going to do, I'm going to make sure I give you rice, pilau, Honorable,
what is that?
That is my beautiful manifesto.
I see. I don't know. Relax.
Yes.
You are the flag bearer of NUP.
Yes.
My friend, NUP has a very strong manifesto.
Are you sure?
You don't have to fidget around looking for what to say, to tell people. Just listen, there is a very strong manifesto. Don't worry.
Our manifesto has priorities. Priority number 1, restore freedom, constitutionalism, rule of law, and our party, everything.
Leader manifesto.
Honorable, I want to tell you, our manifesto has priorities. Priorities number 2, we want to end corruption and wasteful expenditure. We want to have a lean and efficient government. MPs twagala abiri, ministers twagala abiri, MPs twagala kinana, district twagala zikendeza. Honorable.
Yes.
We are going to have in a new Uganda, we are going to consolidate national unity. We are going to rebuild communities and eliminate sectarianism. Manifesto.
Listen.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the new Uganda that we the citizens of this beloved our country are claiming for now.
Yes.
National Unity Platform Manifesto guarantees equal access to quality public services. Ladies and gentlemen, clean water, good education, health care, energy and public infrastructure. Ladies and gentlemen, National Unity Platform Manifesto got you in this our country that we are suffering with high rate of unemployment and poverty. Ladies and gentlemen, the new manifesto is going to create 10 million new jobs in this our country. Ladies and gentlemen, the National Unity Platform Manifesto got you all in this our country where we have children that suffer with hunger in schools. Ladies and gentlemen, the National Unity Platform Manifesto is going to establish a public school feeding program to transform agriculture. Ladies and gentlemen, what a manifesto.
Why? Put the priorities down. Put the priorities.
Comrades,
Yes.
honorables, we still have much more. Not only the already outlined priorities of the manifesto, but our mighty party is also committed to tackle all issues on land with immediate effect. It will stop land grabbing, it will restore stolen land to victimized individuals, as well as safe guarantee to secure land rights. Our good news for you, comrades. as reflected to the priority 8 of our manifesto, our NUP as a party will directly promote decentralization at all levels, both at local and regional government. My friends, my honorables, my comrades, the NUP is going to strengthen the foreign policy, positioning the diaspora as an asset, as well as strengthen our competition at global level in order to build and develop our country in a new Uganda. Oyocha.
Now, gentlemen, you made a very big mistake. We had trust in you. But since you decided to stand against the flag bearer, first of all, you violated all the party values. Think about the revolutionary discipline, where you had to accept the results. No, you are no longer trusted. You lost the trustworthiness. You are no longer reliable, and you lost the integrity. Continue
about our party constitution. Article 5(4)(a) talks about the obligation of you as a member of the party, that you have the obligation to abide and protect our party constitution. And Article 5(5)(c) also tells you that if anyone stands against the party flag bearer, there and then you cease to be a member of National Unity Party.
Therefore, your candidate is no longer a member. Yes.
Honorable, President Ngobi atukobera kusibe bugaito sikutikinga engaito ebigaito byo
wenga pese. Ladies and gentlemen, we have foreigners here.
Am I also permitted to call you comrades?
Yeah.
We've keenly listened to you.
Yeah.
And it comes up to my concern that indeed, Honorable His Excellency Robert Chagulanyi Sentamu is the true leader of Uganda.
People power! People power!
Lastly, I want to categorically state that you do not, according to your manifesto, you do not have to be an elite to work for the people or to execute duties for the people. NUP manifesto is the only way to go.
People power! Our power! And you Uganda now.
But remove this. It needs a very serious barrier. Who wants it?
I'm going to try my best.
Next time better. Those are the alumni from our School of Leadership. Era okusoma kulungi buli omu yandigwanidde akakisa okusoma era essomero lyaffe ebyo bivuddemu mu ssomero lyaffe. We hope to expand the capacity of the school. Of course, it's regrettable that this government has abducted our leaders of the school, but at least you can see the value that comes of that, out of that investment. We continuously tell you that the government we have currently is working against you, not for you. No one would not want to have a school which gives us such program mutegedde ensonga eziri mu manifesto yaffe. At this point, our time is fast spent, but also conveniently, we plan that when it reaches this time, we can present the popular school feeding program. So the next priority area is the school feeding program, which is going to be presented by our party treasurer, Honorable Benjamin Katana. You're welcome.
Our distinguished leaders and all of you citizens, fellow citizens gathered here and those that are watching us from elsewhere. I am here to share one of the priority areas in our manifesto, which is about the school feeding program. As a nation, we have had the misfortune of being led by a group of incompetent and unambitious people who only measure success on the basis of the past. And as a result, they have made some sections of our society equal and ambitious. And when we present a very fine picture of how a new Uganda, the future will look like my colleagues have ably done, there are many people who doubt whether it will be implemented or not. The school feeding program is a multi-sectoral, multi-purpose, and multi-dimensional program that is intended to achieve about 4 objectives under the bigger idea of NUP's plan for improving the quality of life of Ugandans. Because a government which cares about its people, a government which is people-centered, will automatically focus on improving the quality of life of the citizens. So the first objective under this plan, the plan is basically about providing a meal to the school-going children at primary level every day, a hot meal that is nutritious. And of course, we are going to do a survey, and the materials will be sourced from the homesteads in this country. So the first objective is to boost household incomes. And how do we intend to achieve this? We intend to elevate the household in Uganda into a production unit that will produce these raw materials that will be procured for purposes of feeding the children at school. If you are in an area, for example, that produces soya bean, and we know that it's a nutritious product that will help to boost the growth of these children, that will help to eliminate malnutrition-related diseases, then the investment will be in soya bean to make sure that the different households in that area are supported to produce soya bean, which will be procured by the school to feed the children. If you are from a fishing community and you have silverfish mukene, or you have fish, the investment of the NUP government will be in that sector to make sure that the households are able to supply the school with this product and earn money, but also feed the children. If you are from a milk producing community, and we have so many people who have been struggling with the market for their milk to the extent that sometimes you see they are powering it, sometimes they are selling it at 200 shillings a litre, when in Kampala it is 2,000 a litre. We are going to provide a market at the nearest school. The government of NUP will procure the milk, feed your children will be healthy, but your pockets will also be healthy. The other aspect related to that, away from boosting the household incomes, is boosting agriculture. Agriculture is the leading employer in this country. However, it has not received sufficient support from government. And one of the challenges that the farmers face is the lack of market for their products. I've given you an example of milk, and there are several other examples where people are struggling to find market for their products. Sometimes they are even cheated by the middlemen and middlewomen, but also cheated by the so-called industrialists who are protected by the cartel that whose ambition is only to extract money from the population. So now we want to create a market at the nearest school in your community to make sure that now your products will be sold to the school, you will earn money, your children will feed, and they will learn well. The other aspect related to that is fostering better learning environment. A hungry child cannot concentrate in class. By the statistics of government itself, today, the dropout rate in primary school is 68%. By implication, it means that out of 100 people who enroll in P1, 68 of those 100 don't complete P7. And that is a time bomb. And my colleagues have ably explained the other interventions that our government is going to come up with, including the increment on the capitation grant from the 6,000 per term to a more reasonable figure. But we are now also, in addition to that, going to introduce feeding of children at school so that people are not driven out of class by hunger to go to prison like the ones that the Honorable Mwanga was talking about. Even in school, you see, children are comfortable going to jail because they are assured of dinner. But now we want to make sure that they are comfortable going to school because they are assured of a meal, and a nutritious meal. Fellow citizens, the other intervention related to that is about the elimination of malnutrition. Every household in Uganda today spends a lot of money, and which money most households do not have, on meeting medical bills for taking children to hospital. And most of these children fall sick because of low immunity levels, because of poor feeding. So by feeding these children with a hot, nutritious meal every day, we are going to reduce the cost of medical bills significant amounts by making sure that the children are healthy, they are feeding well, and they are learning. They are not missing school because they are sick, and the parents are not spending money they don't have on them to meet medical bills because they are healthier. And so many people have been asking, when we have been talking about this, the school feeding program, that how are you going to implement this? We intend to implement it by working closely with PTA, the Parents Teachers Associations. Most of them under the current regime have collapsed, but we are going to work hard to make sure that we restore them, that we strengthen them, so they can be leading stakeholders working with government, but particularly working with the community development officers at the sub-county for purposes of coordination to make sure that this program is implemented. We are also going to make sure, especially in areas where production of these nutritious things is a little bit complicated because of climate and other things, and we have other interventions like irrigation that my colleagues have talked about. But we are also going to make sure that we strengthen the production unit of state agencies like Uganda prisons so that they can be able to produce for some parts of the country that are not able to produce some of these products. And fellow citizens, this intervention also has a multiplier effect, in a sense that if the schools in a certain sub-county in Ichichusa are procuring eggs for the school, it means that even the person who makes the chicken feeds is going to get a business. It means that some young people are going to get jobs to work in the poultry farm. It means that some young people are going to get jobs to work in the feeds factory. So this program is comprehensive, and it is intended to cover a number of dimensions. How do we intend to do this? We intend to spend 1,500 on each student per day. And we are targeting 5 million children for the initial program. The total cost of this comes to around 1.5 trillion to implement this. And many people have been asking that where are you going to get 1.5 trillion from? My colleagues have given you a clear picture of what is happening in Uganda, and our president has been emphasizing that Uganda is a rich country, but we are poor. We are poor people. Because the statistics of the Inspectorate of Government have placed the money lost to corruption to about 9 trillion a year. And for us, we are looking for 1.5 trillion to feed our children. That is a very insignificant part of the money that is lost. We have been told about the mineral wealth that this country is blessed with. Our responsibility is to utilize the wealth for the benefit of the citizens. And so many people have been asking that there is a program going on called Parish Development Model. That how is it going to continue surviving under the NUP government? NUP government is a pro-people government, is a pro-development government. And what has not been managed well, our responsibility is to manage it well. The money that people are being given, for example, to go and invest in whichever they please, without training, without proper alignment with the market forces, for us we shall invest it in making sure that households produce food which will be procured by the schools in their communities. And by doing so, the little money that they are given will have a big impact, not just on their income, but on the health of their children and the health of the nation. I thank you.
Thank you so much. If you think that 1.5 trillion is a lot of money, remember that Uganda, under the NRM government, has since spent 1.24 trillion on Lubowa Hospital project, which remains a construction site at best. So the problem is not the lack of finances, it is the misuse of those finances. Thank you so much. We're going to welcome Madam Ramto Apio Flavia, who will present about how we are going to stop land grabbing, which we think is a very serious challenge in this country that has affected all the other forms of development, because we believe that land is a very crucial factor of production and any other form of development you want to do. She will also be joined by Ms. Natalie Margaret, who will present about empowering regional and local governance. Thank you so much. I welcome the able ladies to come and present that quickly. Let's utilize the time that we have.
People power. Our power. People power. My name is Ramto Flavia Apio from northern Uganda, Omoro district. I bring you revolutionary greetings from all the villages of Omoro district. Firstly, because we are the first-hand victims of land grabbing in Uganda today. For many of us, for millions of Ugandans, if not all, we live in fear of losing our land, not to natural disasters, but to government officials, to government actors, and to many investors in the disguise of conservation. However, we bring you a new Uganda. No wonder, us from northern Uganda are very eager for the new Uganda. We are eagerly waiting. It's 3 months now. And I assure you, it is protest votes up there. Since 2006, my brothers from the north can testify. The Uganda Wildlife Authority gazetted the areas of our power in the disguise of conservation, I repeat. And our people of Madi and Acholi were forcefully and bitterly. This has led to a lot of people picking arms against each other. Madi and Acholi have lived together from the times of our ancestors. But after this, we saw a lot of us picking arms against each other. We saw us picking pangas, fighting each other. Convictions have become
a big issue in northern Uganda because it has torn our communities apart. Not just the communities of Acholi, but the communities of West Nile, of Karamoja, of Lango. But here's the good news. The National Unity Platform that seeks election to government looks to address visible solutions to these pending issues. First, we seek to protect Milo land and tenants by enforcing legal safeguards for Milo land owners and tenants. We'll also look at secure customary land rights by reviewing current past land transactions and taking concrete steps to restore land to rightful owners. We're also looking at having registration of all land. From a small landowner in Amuru to a big landowner in Entebbe, all your land is registered, because why not? As young graduates, NUP also seeks to support us to use technology to establish a homegrown IT system using the blockchain technology that is a secure digital system. The graduates in the house, you need to be very excited because finally we shall have jobs in the new Uganda. This will accommodate registration of all land, I repeat, and they'll have no more fraud and fraudulent titles. We're seeing a lot of people losing their land because the powerful and the people in the government are using fraudulent means to get titles. The National Unity Platform seeks with a bold vision on land rights where no one lives in fear of possible eviction, unhealthy conflict, fraudulent acquisition of titles, closing loopholes of land grabbing and neglected land rights. Thank you so much, and people power, our power. After down Dutch, Miko Malme Uganda, Mi Central Uganda, Mika Weng Uganda. Anya Ramto Apio Flavia, Aki Moro District. Team Wabilori ku Manifesto Area 7, Maloro Loka Manu Ngom, Padang, Ikumalme Uganda. Ki Yupo, Lok Pangom, Uganda Wakanti. Watie, my child National Unity Platform, Kawachi Wabikelu repair, Minanoni, Ngomu, Palute Dero, Piki Kwanyo Ngom Palute Dero, Ikimgang, Piki Kwanyo Ngom Palute Dero, Inova Uganda, Piki Kwanyo Ngom Palute Dero, Kaweng, Uganda, Karen, Afro,
Isn't Uganda such a beautiful place? Thank you so much. We appreciate, we love you, we recognize the pains of our people who have lost their land and this government. But she talks about the fact that we are going to create a system where people can access digitally. Your land title and where it is kept should not be a secret. That it is hidden somewhere. Omuntu yena yandibadde ategeera ettaka lye likomawa oba liriwa ekyapa kiriwa tusobola okuteekawo sisitimu eyakalimagezi esobola otusobozesa ffe ng'abanansi okulaba ettaka lyaffe nekituyambako abantu abagala nnyo okubba ettaka because they complicate the systems. That said, there is a special person, special to me and special to the team from this side, who has been breaking down the manifesto on their social media platforms. Those of you asking how can I understand the manifesto further, you go to Natavi's social media platforms and all their content is there. Allow me in a special way to welcome her to talk about regional and local governance devolution, the real one, not the one they pretend about. Thank you.
Thank you so much. People power, our power, a protocol observed. My name is Margaret Natavi. I am from Mokono municipality, and today I'm going to talk about priority number
8, which seeks to empower regional and local governance through real devolution. Now, when you're talking about devolution, we are basically speaking transfer of powers from the central government to the local government or regional government. And you should pay more attention to the word real, because someone from this government is going to come and argue that, oh, we have devolution, we have decentralization, but it is not real. Ladies and gentlemen, the decentralization in the interim government is pseudo, but the NUP government wants to bring to you real devolution. We want to have a region or a local government that has real power to give you the public services you deserve, power to make sure they make decisions that affect you, the common person. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to, with a very painful heart, I want to inform you that the local government, I want to bring to your attention that the local government only gets 7.2% of the total national budget, while we are supposed to do 70% of the work you see this government is doing. Why? If you didn't know, the local government is in charge of your roads. All those roads you see that do not connect to the roads that are constructed by UNRWA are done by the local government. The health centers you see in your community or in Uganda, they're under the care of the local government. The public schools or government schools you see in your area, they're under the care of the local government. But we get funding that is way less. And this National Unity Platform government wants to end that. Our promises are only 4 in the new Uganda when it comes to local government. Because you know, when we work on the local government, every Ugandan out there is going to receive the public services they need. Number 1, we want to bring what we call the National Devolution Dialogue Council. This is going to be like a committee that is going to be revising, because before the NRM government came, or the governments before, we had regional governments. We didn't have these many districts we have today. When the NRM government came and they bring the Local Government Act, they have been trying to break down the districts to the many 140 plus districts we have today. They are not breaking down the districts to improve the public services to you. They are basically breaking up districts to increase the votes, to increase the number of MPs in parliament that support the NRM. Now, for us, we are bringing this council to make sure we discuss. The council is going to have religious leaders, cultural leaders, civil leaders, and regional leaders to discuss, if we went back to regional governance, how would Uganda be? And this council, we want to bring it in 2026, immediately after swearing in. We come up with this council. Number 2, I come with sad news for anyone here or anyone watching who was waiting to become an RDC in the NUP government. One thing we are going to delete immediately we get power are the office of the RDC, assistant RDC, deputy RDC, because they're just taking our money, but not to improve services. I must tell you that, you see your LC1s and LC2 leaders, they get 10K, 10,000 Uganda shillings per month. And this money comes at the end of the year. Of recent parliament sat and they agreed to increase their money to 50,000. This government doesn't love you, dear Ugandans, because most of these LC1 chairpersons are NRM, but they get 10,000. That's why you see them out of office every time. That's why you see them increasing the amount of money you have to pay to get a stamp, which you get a free of charge. Now, we've been telling you Ugandans that this government doesn't love you, and you didn't know until at least we from Mukono, we got the chance, and the man told us point blank live, Itabe Mukono, Sina Chembeguya. Likewise, wherever you are, Namwe Taina Chabeguya. So this is the time to vote for a leader, Aina Chabeguya, a leader that wants to see that your well-being is improved. We want to address regional inequality. We must agree that Uganda faces the same problems when it comes to infrastructure, health, schools, etc. But also we must accept that the problems in the education sector in northern Uganda or in eastern Uganda are not the same as in central Uganda. We must agree that the health care or the roads in other regions of the country are not at the same level. So much as we want to improve these infrastructure and public services, we have to be careful on where we add more money so that we can lift different regions to the same level. And those are the 4 basic parts we are going to focus on. And maybe briefly for the people that do not understand English, National Unity Platform, ngetuse mu buyinza, twagala okulabanga tuteekawo olukiiko lwetuyise National Devolution Dialogue Council. Olukiiko lugenda kubeerako abakulembeze ab'ekinnansi, abakulembeze ab'ebitongole by'obwannakyewa, abakulembeze bamwe be bulina essaawa eno, n'abakulembeze ba regions. Tulabe nti singa tuddeyo ku nkola eri gye twalina eya federo, nga buli region erina obukulembeze obwayo, Uganda eno egenda kubeera etya? Kuba tugizudde nti districts ze tulina ennyingi gavumenti eno zeereese tebali muzireetawo kwongeza mpeereza y'emirimu gye balina obakolera, wabula bajongeza kwongeza muwendo gw'ababaka ba parliament aba parliament aba NRM. Basically tebali mukikola kubongeza bukulembeze. N'ekirala twagala twongeza ku funding, twongeza ku ssente ze tuwa local governments, kubanga tulabye nga bakola ebitundu 7 ku buli 10 ku mirimu gavumenti eno gy'erina okukola mu masomero, mu malwaliro, ku nguudo n'ebirala, wabula ng'ate ssente ze babawa ntono nnyo. Twagala twongeze from 7.6% gye tuliko kati up to 40% by 2030. Twagala tuteekayo graders, twagala tuteekayo tractors, twagala tuwe at least kuba manifesto yagambye at least buli district ebeereyo ne tippers 5 okutandikirwako okulaba nga ziri ku solid waste management. Twogedde ku bachairperson b'ebyalo LC2s, akasente tugambye buli ssentebe w'ekyalo oba wa LC2 afuna omutwalo gumu buli mwezi, ate nga tezijja buli mwezi, zijja ng'omwaka guweddeko, kitegeeza mu mwaka ssentebe w'ekyalo afuna emitwalo 12. Parliament yatudde neteesa babongereko bave ku mitwalo gumu mpaka ku mitwalo 5. Ne mbagamba bannayuganda, gavumenti eno tetwagalangako. Olaba LC abasinga mu Uganda bali mu kibiina kya NRM, naye bafuna omutwalo gumu n'ekitundu. Olwo gwe nakato waabwe nakaddu waabwe atalina wa NRM osubira bagenda kufaako ddi. Ne tugamba nti twagala twongeze nga bwe tuba tugaba ssente zigenda okukola emirimu mu regions eza Uganda ez'enjawulo, tuzongeza okusinziira ku need nti abatalina masomero mu regions endala, nti ffenna tulina ebizibu bye bimu obijja ku by'okusoma, ebyobulamu, enguudo n'ebirala, wabula tulina okukkiriza nti regions ez'enjawulo zifeesinga ebizibu bino mu ngeri za njawulo. Yes, mu Buganda tuyinza okugamba amasomero tulina mabi, naye nga depo y'obubi gye tuliko ate si yemu n'abali mu Eastern region oba mu Northern oba mu West. Katwagala nga tuba tuweereza zino ssente tuzichannelling according to need, okusinziira ku bwetaavu. So yeyo priority yaffe number 8 in brief. Ngala we lwabagambye bannayuganda mwenna nagazazaako okumenya manifestos no priorities zonna 11 mu Uganda kuva kusoka paka kwesembayo. Page yange nze natabe ku TikTok n'abalala basharinze ku X. So in case totegeera Luganda babadde basharinga mu luzungu bonna nga bibadde bikalubirizamu, osobola ogenda ku TikTok eyo ne weeyongera okwennyonnyoka zino zonna priorities mu lulimi Oluganda neyanziza nnyo neyanziza. Olwale nnyo mbozi kyakyembadde njagala ogattako nti akakiiko kagenda kubeerako abakulembeze b'ennono abamu manyi kintu mbadde mukikutte kikulaninge naye. That said, I know some of you have been enjoying the presentations, but we are about to come to an end. Priorities zibadde 11 tugaziza 3 zokka. I know that some of you have been enjoying the presentations, but we are about to come to our end. We have only 3 that are left. We'll present those quite quickly, and then we recognize that time has been fast spent. We don't want to keep you here. We have told you the new government, we want people to work, to use their talents, to develop our nation. So we want to give you also time, prepare yourselves for the new government. That said, I'm going to welcome our next member, Councillor Sasi Marvin, to talk about how we are going to position our country to the diaspora. He's also going to speak to how we are going to position our foreign policy outlook. Let me welcome Councillor Sasi Marvin to come and present in the next 5 minutes. Thank you.
Hi. So I rarely speak in public. I am still trying to catch my breath. I hope you can bear with me. I'm happy to see you here. My name is Sas Marvin. I think I've already been introduced. By show of hands, how many of you know a doctor called Mujimu David Sylvester? Or how many of you have heard of a doctor called Mujimu David Sylvester? Okay, no one. So Dr. Mujimu is or was a surgeon. He worked for 26 years in a country called Namibia. When he was approaching his retirement, the Namibian government blocked his bank accounts. They didn't just block his bank accounts, they took 6 billion Uganda shillings of his savings and they took them to their central bank. Dr. Mujimu sued everyone he could in Namibia and he went all the way up to the Supreme Court and he lost. In frustration, Dr. Mujimu gathered the little that he had left. He gathered his cars, there were about 3, 2 state-of-the-art Land Cruisers and a Toyota Fortuner. This is 2017 and he hit the road from Namibia to Uganda. He came by road, he came with his cars and he came with hundreds of millions of cash. When he reached the border at Mutukula,